we say good morning and congratulations. Hi, Coach.
Gentlemen, how we doing?
Coach, we're doing great. Yourself?
I'm fine, thank you.
Well, you sound chipper, Coach. I mean, I was expecting to sound all dragged out from all the travel.
Well, we had rough travel, but that's the cost of doing business. No matter what you do, we got home. I got into beautiful Del Mar about 2:30 in the morning.
My goodness.
Beautiful.
I mean, Coach, I think on one hand, you go to Jim Sturk and you say, look, we got to get an easier way to travel if we're going to really, win these conference games. And then when he finally relents and says, fine, we'll spend the money, then the plane's got a crack in the wing. I mean, come on. I mean, just, will you?
Well, the good news is we made it there, we made it home, and we won the game.
Was there ever a time where you were really nervous and anxious on this flight because it's a smaller plane and it's these prop planes and it's getting bounced around and you know that there's weather? Was there a time like that on the flight, Coach?
I think, to be honest with you, not to share everything, but on the trip from San Diego to Laramie, we had unexpected, terrible weather, and we were scheduled to stop for fuel, and because of the weather, we couldn't land. Initial stop, St. George, Utah, and we must have circled and went around there for an hour. So the worry that I had was, in my own crazy mind, was we got to stop for fuel, and we can't stop for fuel.
We're about to run.
If we run out of fuel,
run out of gas.
Oh, and finally we made it. We were able to fly. The pilot and co-pilot were terrific, and helped me with where we stayed all night. Something City, Utah. Cedar City, Utah, and they rolled out the carpet. They were so nice to us, and so it worked out. Our kids were. If you had been there, you would have marveled at how our players dealt with it. And you guys know, when you travel and there's unexpected change, most of the time all you hear is grumbling, complaining,
right.
Not one word. They went upstairs in this little place where we stopped the hangar and were watching TV. They had a pool table. They shot pool. They laughed. They just made do with what it was.
Coach, when you get to the hotel in Cedar City, Utah, and you have a traveling party, I think they said of 19 folks, is that right?
Correct.
Do you need 19 rooms? I mean, how does that – in other words, I picture you walking up to the front desk and going, hi, do you guys have 19 rooms? And then you laying down your credit card going, yeah, I'll get reimbursed. I mean, is it like that, or is it somebody else who deals with all this?
Matt Soria, one of our coaches, that's one part of his job description. And when we got to Cedar City, we're thinking, well, how can we get to Vegas to take a commercial flight the next day? And they couldn't get a bus out for 3 hours, so now you go to plan B. Okay, now what? Well, we could refuel and try to go. Well, the best thing to do would be wait, stay all night. The weather's supposed to clear. So the lady at Cedar City said the best place to stay is the Crystal City Inn. It's close. That's where all the pilots stay. She called, told them we were coming over. Then Matt got on the phone, had the rooms all arranged. We went. They were still serving, so our kids went in, had dinner. It worked out fine.
Coach Steve Fisher this morning on San Diego State's win over Wyoming last night.
And you don't even think about that, Coach. You don't even think about feeding the team and making sure that wherever you go, that they can walk into the diner and sit down and actually have some sustenance,
You are right there. Everything, when you have more than one or two, takes some organization.
Uh-huh.
Well, beyond that, Coach, I mean, I don't know what the deal is, but I know you're really involved in all aspects of the San Diego State basketball program. You wonder, wait a second, we didn't budget for this. We paid.
You guys have to split those hamburgers.
Right, we paid for the rooms up in wherever we're going, and now we got to take on a whole new set of rooms and food, and this diversion cost us, I don't know, $5,000, and that's not really in the budget. I mean, is this what's going on? I mean, are you thinking about these things?
That is not crossing my mind at all, to be honest with you.
Oh, good.
I want to just make sure that we're safe, we're comfortable. We went in and got our kids some food, watched some film, put them to bed, and got up early the next morning. Had beautiful, clear skies, and we knew we were going to get to Laramie. So that was all we were worried about.
So how did the guys fit in that plan, especially the bigger players?
You know, they fit okay. They had one seat on each side, and it just went straight back. You flown some of those little shuttle planes where, but this didn't have two seats on one side, one on the other. It had one seat on each side.
Oh,
went
Coach.
Straight back. It looked like a torpedo, really, to be honest with you.
Any of the kids get to the airport and go, I'm not getting on that.
No, if they thought it, they didn't say it.
All right, so, Coach, let's move over now. We're talking to Steve Fisher about all that went on in the last 2 days to try and get his team to Wyoming, where they won 52-42 last night. And Coach Fisher returns to Scott and BR on San Diego Sports Leader XX1090. Let's go to the pregame, Coach. And the way it was reported is you told the team the excuses are built in. Can you tell us about your pregame speech?
Well, I said, you've got a million excuses ready-made in your hip pocket. Don't use any of them. You know, curveballs come in what we do in life, and you have to come and you have to compete and you have to play, and you're good enough to win. So that's what we're going to do. And we put 6 bullet points up on the board, and for every game. They're usually a little different, and I put one up this time. And from way back when I was a high school coach, MTXE, kind of a corny thing, mental toughness, extra effort. That's what I put up, and we talked on that. I said, you're good enough to win. Don't use excuses. You've displayed great character all season. You've had great resolve. You've been as good as we've ever had in terms of preparing. Don't let yourselves down now. That was basically the theme.
And I think, you know, so many people said this season of San Diego State basketball, because of all the departures and because of what next year's supposed to be with all the incoming talent, that this is supposed to be kind of a holdover year.
Reloading.
And it just seems in us talking to Tim Shelton or Rayhan, and we've got, you know, Jamal coming on tomorrow or Chase, those kids would not dare accept that this was supposed to be a Band-Aid kind of season. There seems to be a real closeness to this team. Is it different than last year?
It is different than last year. Last year, going in, self-imposed, external, there was a huge pressure of expectations. You know that. We were coming off a great season before. We went to the tournament, Tennessee, and we knew we were going to be good, everybody back. So a different kind of pressure. We were usually bigger and better than most that we played. And this year, coming in, to be honest, we slipped in under the radar. None of us, including myself, realized that we were going to be, could be, as good as we are. I'll be honest with you. We're better than I ever dreamed we could be. And it's because of the kids. If you watch us practice, they're so engaged in when you put in a game plan that's got 2 days to get implemented, and then you have all the problems we had, and to go out and execute it the way they did. Ziegler for the UT wrote about it. There is the best group I've ever had in terms of watching film, absorbing, listening, participating in the film session, and then going out and executing it. We're not smoke and mirrors. We're doing it obviously in a different way. We don't throw the ball into the post often enough. A year ago, that's all we did. So it's a different team, but it's great to be a part of it.
Wow.
Coach, best ever. Wow.
Better than I ever dreamt we would be. Wow, those are strong words, Coach.
Well, we're pretty good right now. I didn't not that I didn't think we would be good, but 18-2 good. I think that's a stretch for all of us.
I think there's a stat out there. Check me on this if you know it, Coach. That San Diego State has won like 59 straight games over unranked opponents.
58.
58?
Yep.
Yeah. That tells me that you talk about, back to your phrase, mental toughness, focus, extreme effort. Mm-hmm. And that tells me everything I need to know. I mean, you never falling apart mentally when you're taking on what is considered to be lesser than opponents?
We have been good at staying with the task, and last night again, we had for the game, Scott and BR, we had 41 shots for the game. Wyoming is a lot like Air Force now. They minimize possessions. You have fewer possessions against Wyoming than you do against Air Force because of the way they defend, but also of the way they position themselves offensively. They don't take a quick, hurried shot. They run the shot clock down a lot. So it was a grinded-out game, and we managed to get that big spurt to one stage to create separation, and that's what good teams do, and we've been able to do that against good teams and against okay teams and against bad teams.
Coach, I don't know if you heard the news, but I just want to be the first to tell you, if you haven't, we're looking at clear skies in Fort Collins, Colorado over the weekend for your game. So we're good.
Very nice. I like that.
Coach, a pleasure. Congratulations. 11 straight wins, 4-0 in the conference, 18-2 overall, your 250th career win at San Diego State.
Yeah.
And with all the adversity, the kids came out and really did the university proud. Coach, congratulations.
Way to go, Coach.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having us on and talking about us. You've helped immensely help us grow the attendance in the AHOS, and we're very appreciative.